beyond that, then you lost your privilege.
Yeah. So I decided to.
And Gabriel, he decided to stay.
Yeah, he decided to stay.
Well, he was going with Aunt Edna at the time, wasn't
Yeah.
he?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he had a girlfriend there that he...
Yeah. I didn't have any girlfriend. I was miserable.
And then your sister didn't come. She was much younger, but she was almost going to come. I think you said when the whole family was going to come, and then when was the whole family going to come?
Well, it was probably in I would say probably around 1925. My dad he built a house on Maple Avenue, not too far from where Mark was born, grew up. And he had, the whole family was supposed to leave, but I don't know what happened. I never find out. I think my mother got cold feet. I think she was afraid to leave.
Well, that was a big move.
She was a big move, with 4 children. So I never came about. So my father, he finished the house and he sold it. And when I come over later on, he took me by them to see the house on Maple Avenue.
Well, when you came over, you probably had mixed feelings about coming or leaving.
Well,
You didn't think it would be, let's see, you came in 1936. So you didn't think it would be 16 years before you got back again.
No, of course the war stopped us too, you know.
Well, tell me, what was a bigger shock, going back in 1952 and seeing the changes, or going back in 1982 and seeing the changes?
Going back in '82.
In what way?
Well, it's much more modernized than in 1952. It was so close after the war that they were rebuilding, and they hadn't gotten under feet yet, you know. The country was so far down from all the damage.
You could still see the damage in '52?
Well, some of it, yeah. Some of it.
In '82, what was the biggest change? That highway going past? Or just everybody having modern things?
Everybody had a lot of people had new homes, and they had boats, they had cars, they had everything. Well, I should say 2 houses. They had the summer houses, and they had the regular house. And boats, and they had all the modern conveniences. And of course, when I come back, that's the first time I came back by air. That was in '82. The other time was by boat.
Which did you like better?
Or by air, because it took less time, of course. By ship, you're talking about at least 10 days. And of course, you have a good time on the ship. It's like a cruise ship, you know. You have a good time. But it's a long trip. By air, it's only about 6-7 hours. So, but in '82, we were on a tour. Because prior to this, I hadn't really seen the country. Being coming from the south, you know, I only saw that part of the country. But in '82, we went on a tour, and he took us around to the west coast of where the scenic places are. So we were traveling around there for about 8 days.
And they fed you real good.
Oh yeah, and stayed in the best hotels.
So was it a shock coming back after 30 years to see your everyone you knew to be 30 years older?
Yeah, but so many people had died in the meantime. But my brother and I, we took a trip down in the cemetery, so I could see who was dead. Everybody, most of the graves have stones on them and names, you know.
Well, that must have been a shock to see people that you didn't know who had died.
It was a terrible shock.
I mean, it was depressing.
Of course, my parents had died in the meantime, and most of my family.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a terrible shock.
Did you, and then going back to the old house, I imagine that was a shock.
Yeah, of course, in the meantime, the house had been occupied by the old housekeeper. And,
Osprey Sealand.
And she wasn't able to do much due to her age. So there was one down. There was inside, there was needed a lot of repairs and so on.
Oh, you stayed up with Judith then? You didn't stay in that house?
No, we didn't stay in the house at that time. Because Leif Torman, my nephew, he owned it at that time, and he didn't do any work on it.
We stayed in
There was a,
Blackfjord at the Bundesland.
Okay.
we stayed in the nearby town, yeah. Of course, we were only there for about 7, 8 days that time, due to the tour we were on.
So you wished you could come back and stay longer?
Yeah. So we went back.
Back in '83?
We went back in '83 and we stayed for 4 weeks.
In '84 you went back, or '85 was it?
'85, yeah. And we were there 4 weeks too.
And it rained?
Well, we had a lot of rain, I would say. A lot of rain. And then it's funny, when we come back, we were home for a few days, and we went to visit Dennis in Oregon. And when we come out there, they hadn't had rain for 3 months. For 3 months, and the ground was all brown, scorched earth, and there was such a hair. It was just the opposite of what happened in Norway with all the rain. They didn't have any.
Well, tell me real quick here, where we have about another minute, I think. What do you know about Alaska? I mean, what impresses you the most about Alaska? The mountains, or the fjords, or the bigness?
It's the scenery, the mountains, and the valleys, and the rivers, and the fjords. And it's in a way, it's similar a lot to Norway. It's a lot of things the same. The trees and the birches, and it's a lot of spruce trees. It's a lot the same. But it's very beautiful.
Does it seem like there's more room up here?
Oh, definitely, definitely. The spaces here is so great. The spaces are enormous. And going on the fishing trip and seeing all that salmon that come up the river, it's amazing. The water is actually alive with fish, alive. I bet you if I had a boat in the middle there and I put my net down, put it down the net, I could pick them up.
Mm-hmm.
I'd pick up the salmon.
Scoop them up with a
Scoop
big
them
net.
up in the net. I bet you I could. It's amazing. And our fishing trip was terrific, tremendous. Even though I didn't catch any.
Well, there's some fish there with your name on it.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed it very much. But I wish I had some different things on the hook. I would like to bring out some worms here and put it on the hook, and I'll bet you they'll bite it. They'll go for it. I bet they will.
Well, they can't see so good in that water, so maybe they could smell them or feel them.
Oh, they could. They'll see them. So we're really.
Well, you'll have to come back and catch
We're really
that fish.
enjoying the stay here. I'm sure.
You getting enough to eat?
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm putting on some weight. So when I get back home, I have to slim down a little bit.
Well, you know, then, like we say, you'll be more stable during high winds. The wind won't pick you up and throw you 30 feet.
I guess not. No, I'm afraid I have gained a lot of weight. Yeah.
Well, you can gain it and it won't show.
Well, we had a wonderful time. And the cooking, and Susan had been busy cooking meals there and working her tail off.
And the mosquitoes haven't been so bad either.
No, only a couple of times up in the fishing trip did I ever notice mosquitoes.
You're between crops.
And we have, of course, we have the spray here. We have what they call oil.
Off.
Or cutter.